What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time again for the Walking Dead weekend.
You okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I know.
How?
Because I'm okay too.
Be there before sundown.
Now we head through the woods. We don't know who they are.
All right.
Smart.
We all spread out. Watch for a while, see what we see, and get ready. You want to stick with me?
Sorry.
When I told you about Andre, you never asked how he died.
I knew why.
Yeah, but the how is important. We went to a refugee camp. Andre and my boyfriend Mike was Andre's father. And our friend Terry at the camp. It just got worse and worse. People were leaving. People giving up. But I didn't. I was coming back from a run. I saw the fences were down. I heard the moans. It was over. And Mike and Terry, they were high when it happened. They were bit. Could have stopped it. Could have killed him. But I let them turn. I made it so they couldn't bite, couldn't scratch. I tied chains around their necks. It was insane. It was sick. It felt like what I deserved. Dragging them around so that I would always know. I found out that they kept me safe. They hid me. The walkers didn't see me anymore. I was just another monster. That was me. I was gone for a long time. But then Andrea brought me back. Your dad brought me back. You did. I see how you've been looking at your dad. You don't have to be afraid of me. Or him.
He told me the other day. Said he was proud of me. Said I was a good man. I'm not.
Carl,
I know more now. About what he wanted from me. And I tried, but I still have these thoughts. I'm not what he thinks I am. I'm just a monster too.
Just in case.
I understand why he's doing it. He's got every excuse considering everything that's gone on up to this point.
Hello.
Where's Glenn and that?
Well, I bet Albert is on perimeter watch. You here to rob us?
No. We wanted to see you before you saw us.
Makes sense. Usually we do this where the tracks meet. Welcome to Terminus. You're nervous, I get it. We were all the same way. We came here for sanctuary. That what you here for?
Yes.
Good. You found it. Alex will take you, ask you a few questions. But first, we need to see everyone's weapons. If you could just lay them down in front of you.
That's a big leap of faith. Where's Glenn and that?
All right.
I'm sure you understand.
Hate to see the other guy.
You would.
Follow me. Some folks are heading to the coast, others out west or up north, but they all wound up here.
Hi. Heard you came in the back door. Smart. You'll fit right in here.
Well, news travels fast.
Hey, Mary, would you fix each of these new folks' plate for me?
Why do you do it? Why do you let people in?
That was Glenn's
When
bag.
people become a part of us, we get stronger. That's why we put up the signs. Invite people in.
That's Eugene's armor.
That's how we survive.
That's Maggie's poncho.
Here.
Fuck. He knows. Herschel's watch. Fuck.
I need your help with something. Leave it behind.
What?
It'll just get in the way.
Where the hell did you get this watch?
You want answers? You want anything else? You get them when you put down the gun.
I see your man on the roof with a sniper rifle. How good's his aim?
Where did you get the watch?
I got it off of a dead one. I didn't think he'd need it.
What about the riot gear, the poncho?
Got the riot gear off a dead cop. Found the poncho on a clothesline.
Gareth, we can wait.
Shut up, Alex.
You talk to me.
What's there left to say? You don't trust us anymore.
Gareth,
Shut up.
Gareth, please.
It's okay. Rick, what do you want?
Where are our people?
You didn't answer the question.
Fuck's sake. I knew it's too good to be true. Are they deliberately missing? They're trying to lead them somewhere, aren't they? Oh, fuck, they're cannibals. Those were human remains.
These people. I don't think they're trying to kill us.
No, they're aiming at her feet. There.
Oh, they're a fucking cult. They're fucking cannibals, aren't they?
Drop your weapons! Now!
Oh my god! Just when I thought it could get any worse.
The train car, go! You do what we say, the boy goes with you. Anything else, he dies, and you end up in there anyway. Now the samurai.
They best let Cole go with Rick. They're not going to, are they? They're going to take him. Powdered milk.
Stand at the door. Ringleader, archer, samurai, in that order.
Is Judith in there?
My son! Go, kid.
Rick?
You're here.
They help save us.
Yeah. Now they're friends of ours. For however long that'll be.
It can be like this all the time.
It's like this now. That's enough. They're gonna feel pretty stupid when they find out. Find out what? They're screwing with the wrong people.
So there we have it, the season 4 finale, and straight off the bat I'm going to say it, thank God no one died. That was my number one concern going into this episode, especially with the opening of this episode where we saw Rick covered in blood. I mean, first off, I thought maybe Carl or Michonne had died because, you know, he didn't have a very happy look on his face and I couldn't see him anywhere in sight. So I thought, shit, what if one of those died? And then we found out they hadn't. And then later on in the episode when they were in Terminus and we found out those people weren't who they said they were, which I sort of suspected, but I hoped they were good people. Obviously they weren't. But when they were running away, Rick and that, they ran across that cage and we saw like a spinal cord in it and human skulls. And I thought, oh shit, please don't say Rick or Maggie have been eaten or something. And it wasn't, they haven't, and they're all back together, finally. Well, apart from Carol, Tyrese and Beth and Judith. If we can get those four with the group, even if they're all in that train car together, if we can just get them all together in one scene again, I will be so happy. I just hope no one dies in the meantime. I mean, we've had Lizzie and Mika die, which was sad to see, but from the original group, we've still got those guys, Tyrese and Carol especially, and Judith, to come into the group again. I just want to see them all together so I can have that, just that fleeting moment of happiness that they're finally met up after all the shit that went down at the prison. But that is yet to happen. I've still got to wait for that. So let's get into this episode. First off, let's just talk about Terminus, because I sort of suspected, we've learnt through the entirety of season 4 to be honest, that you can't stay somewhere that you think is safe, somewhere that you think is a sanctuary. You find out it's not. It never is. There's never going to be somewhere that is safe for them to stay. There's always going to be reasons for why that place exists and for why it still exists, because we've learnt the good never survive. So if there were good people staying in a place, it would have been wiped out straight away, because that's what the Walking Dead gods in this world seem to like to do. You know, you can't stay somewhere safe and you can't be good. And a combination of those two things is never going to work. So I should have suspected straight away. And I sort of did, like I say. But I hoped they were good people. First impressions were good. They came across as good. But then they started being a little too friendly. And then we saw, actually, that they were wearing Maggie's and Glenn's stuff. And in fact, I should actually say, they were actually about to get served some meat. And I was thinking to myself, where did they get that meat? Well, maybe it's like rabbit or something. But we saw there, as I say, they're cannibals. Not only are they cannibals, they seem to be cultist cannibals. If I thought it couldn't get any more worse than the governor and his psychopathic tendencies, and the fact, I mean, to be honest, Woodbury as a town was actually okay. It's just that the guy in charge was a bit of a nutcase. It looks like, in terms of Terminus, that the whole town is run by psychopaths. And not only are they psychopaths, they're cannibals. That sort of makes me wonder, where are they going to go next? Because I assume they get out of this situation eventually. Who gets out? I don't know. Whether everyone gets out. I hope, fingers crossed, they all get out of this situation. And if they do, what are the writers going to do in terms of bad guys next time? Because we went from psychopath to psychopaths who are cannibals. So what's next? Psychopaths that are cannibals that like to wear your skin. Surely that's the only natural progression from that. But yeah, like I say, hopefully they get out of that situation. I mean, I don't know how they're going to get out of the situation, because there's they're locked inside that train car. And actually, I just remembered, as Rick was being told to march into the train car where Glenn and that was, the camera for a second focused on powdered milk. So that's got me wondering, what if Tyrese, Carol and Judith arrived before Glenn? Maybe they're showing us events out of sequence, and maybe they did arrive before everyone else. And if that's the case, where are they now? I mean, like I say, they were being served meat, presumably human meat. Hopefully that wasn't Carol or Tyrese they were trying to serve them, or God forbid, Judith. I really hope I'm assuming too much and I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, because that would suck if we found out later that that's what happened. I mean, it would be a hell of a shock, and, you know, something the writers would do that would come out of left field, but there's got to be a reason why they focused on that powdered milk for a moment, unless it was a red herring and they were just trying to drop clues. But I don't know. Like I say, I just hope that isn't the case. So let's move away from that for a second and move over to what actually happened, you know, towards the beginning of this episode with those guys, with the leader Joe, that gang. I think they're called the Claimers. I think you guys told me they were called the Claimers or something along those lines. We saw them approach Rick, you know, they came out of nowhere and surprised him. And then they put a gun to his head, and it was obvious they were going to kill him, or at the very least kill him, because that guy that had hold of Carl, you know, he was threatening to do something much worse. And the second he was threatening that, I knew Rick, no matter what, wouldn't let that slip. But Rick and the group finally got control of the situation, and once Rick got his hands on that guy that threatened to rape Carl, you know what? I don't blame him for how violent a death he gave that guy. How vicious he was, because I'm guessing he was seeing red, quite literally. He just, you know, for a father, there can't be anything worse than being powerless as, you know, somebody tries to do what that guy did to his son. And the second Rick got hold of him, that guy wasn't walking away from that situation. Rick just let loose. And I think for a second there, for a brief second, you saw Rick lose control. Because, you know, we often see Rick trying to stay in control, and we saw him lose control when he started having the hallucinations. And again, I feel in this situation he sort of lost control. But like I say, I do not blame him. We also saw as Rick was stabbing that guy that Carl was watching, and it was brought up in this episode, or Michonne assumed in this episode, that maybe Carl is scared of his father, but I don't see that. I don't feel like he is scared of his father. Carl actually said that it's just that Carl himself isn't the person his dad thinks he is. In that conversation with Carl, we also learnt about Michonne's past finally, and the fact what I had assumed previously was completely wrong. It was just that her boyfriend, or a husband, was it a husband? I believe it's a husband. He was looking after their child while she was out scavenging, and apparently he was high. She said he got high, so obviously he was being irresponsible, and because of that, not just because of that, but the camp fell, and because he was high and, you know, not watching out properly, her baby died and they died. And for punishment for that, you know, Michonne was so angry with that situation and the fact he was so careless that she cut off his arms and she ripped out his jaw. She made him turn into a walker to punish him. And you know what? Again, I understand the reasoning behind that, but I'm also glad that eventually she was able to come out of that. You know, she said that Andrea brought her back from that, and I'm glad, because you can see that there's a good person in Michonne. It's just that she was so angry that somebody she had complete faith in, her boyfriend or her husband, could do something so irresponsible. It just absolutely devastated her, and he's the reason the baby died, because he didn't protect her, because obviously he was too high or something. But it sucks, man. But like I say, I'm just glad that Michonne's back. We've seen in the past 4 or 5 episodes that Michonne has evolved and almost flowered into this more relatable character. She's not just a badass, she's a badass with a heart. You can see that now. She's opening up, she's talking with Carl, she smiles. I mean, Michonne has an amazing smile, and it's great seeing her smile, and she jokes and she has laughs, and I really appreciate that. So that was about it. But before I go, I just want to talk about that ending, because a lot of you talked about it in the comment section, and the fact there's an uncensored ending. So in the final of this one, he said they're messing with the wrong people. So after this episode, I went straight onto YouTube, searched for the uncensored ending, and I found it. And he says they're fucking with the wrong people, which was a more badass line, but I think I got the gist of it from the other version, the censored version. But I've got to admit, I would have preferred the uncensored version had I watched it. But you know, it was an awesome line. It was a great way to end the series. And it just goes to show the determination and faith Rick has in his group now. So I can't wait for the season premiere next episode, which I've only got to wait till tomorrow to record, whereas you guys had to wait 6 months or whatever it is. So I'm blessed. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. So until then, guys and girls, thank you for watching as always, and bye-bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. If you have any thoughts or feels on the episode, remember you can put them in the comments section below. But please, No spoilers. Also, if you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon. Link is in the description with all the rewards tiers. And finally, if you'd like to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.